Welcome, my beautiful Do Life and Embody You Love chicks. I am just going to start off with an apology this week. If you are somebody who listens by watching on YouTube, you will note that there is no video this week. Apparently, my camera just went kaplunk on my computer, and I have no idea how to fix it. And it's frustrating me to no end. So that is why things look a little bit weird, but I promise it's still worth a listen because today we are going to talk about how to crush the last part of the year. So everybody gets super excited at the beginning of the year, New Year's resolutions, make this your best year yet, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to argue that you will make the best progress ever in the last quarter of the year. This is like my favorite time to really focus in on whatever the goals were that I set way back in January, or maybe your goals changed for that matter. Like, who knows? Who cares? But think about it. Like, when do you perform the best? At the beginning of a race or the end of a race? You give it your all at the end of the race, right? It's like go hard. You get this like second wind, you get a little bit more adrenaline, and we can infuse that into all of our doing of life, so to speak. And so I really like to set goals and like check in on how I'm making progress with all things quarterly in my life because I'm a freak. That's what I do. And I'm telling you, I make the most progress in Q4. So guess what, ladies? We're in Q4 now. We've got a few more months of the year and anything can happen. And I'm telling you, it is so much better to go into the new year with momentum than to keep kicking the can down the road and then waiting for the new year to get here. So not that anybody's actually thinking about the new year right now, except for me, because I'm bringing this up to you guys. But what do we classically do? It's like, so at January, it's like I'm setting these resolutions, I'm setting my intention for the year. That's great. Maybe it lasts for a few days, maybe it lasts for a few months. Like if you're really rocking it out, who knows? But then we kind of like forget about it. We just get busy and life gets in the way. And if it's a health goal, a lot of us get fired up again. And like April or May, when we're starting to think about the fact that like spring is coming and that means shorts and tank tops and all of that. And so we kind of get like a second wind if weight loss is the goal, but then summer gets here and that's when we care the most about being in bodies that we don't necessarily love, but we're like the least apt to actually do anything about it because it's busy and we just want to go out and have fun and this and that. And then fall gets here and we're like, okay, this is time I'm going to conquer my goals. But then we don't because now the kids are in sports and like everything else is going on. And then before you know it, it's the holidays. And then before you know it, we're back at January. Sound familiar? Is that anybody's trajectory of how they do with their goals? And so this right here, this chunk of time, these last 4 months of the year, this is when you can make the most magic happen because you can really focus in and go, okay, I have 3/4 of the year under my belt that I can look at and go, what was the thing I said I wanted to do in January? And have I done it? And maybe you have, and that's awesome. Then reevaluate. You don't need to wait until January to up level your life in some way. Maybe there's a new level you want to take the thing you just accomplished to, or maybe this is time for you to focus in on a different area. I know in our Do Life membership, we're focusing right now on building out like our core 4 of our life and like what are these like foundational principles and all this kind of stuff. And so maybe you need to shift gears and focus somewhere else, or maybe you're going to look back and reflect and go, okay, well, I did make a little bit of progress on whatever the goal was, but I'm kind of being a slacker. There's more I could do. Here's where you can run really, really hard. Okay. And you can still hit that goal or you can get really close. I don't know what your goal was. If your goal was to like clear $50,000 of debt, maybe you have time to do that in this last quarter of the year. Maybe that's a stretch, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try and aim for some of it, right? So I don't know what your goal was. If it's realistic to completely accomplish it in this last 4 months, but you can still put a really good dent in it, or maybe you do accomplish it. Maybe you're in this situation where you're going to look back and go, oh yeah, I said that thing in January that I always say, and I did 0 things about it. And if that's where you're at, I am not bringing this up to shame you into action by any means. And I don't think that you should shame yourself either, because it's not going to do you any good. You're not going to make any progress because you go, I'm a piece of crap. I said I was going to do this and I didn't do anything about it. And meh, 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 meh. And don't do that to yourself. Instead, sit and go, oh, the year is not over with yet. Maybe you're like the Lions. Where are my football girls at? Like, we don't show up till the end of the game, right? And then sometimes we win. So I'm just throwing that out there. You can make some magic happen in this last quarter, right? So what is it? What's important to you? Is it the same thing that was important to you back in January, but maybe you've been a little bit distracted? Or maybe what's important to you shifted, and that's okay too. Maybe the goal you set back in January wasn't the right goal. Maybe it wasn't the right focus, and you want to sit and reflect on that. So like, use the next week or two to sit and get clear. What do you want? What would make like 2023 feel like it was just an amazing year to you, no matter what's already happened? Okay. 3/4 of it is already gone. We can't get it back, but we don't need to. We still have 4 more months to go. And so how you treat yourself, how you treat your goals for this last quarter of the year is largely going to dictate how you feel about this year as a whole, right? Because that's how our brains work. It's like, well, whatever happened the most recent, that's what we're going to remember. So I want you to feel really good about this year. I want you to feel like 2023 was a year where you showed up for yourself, where you really enjoyed your life, where you made progress on the things that you said were important to you. And we have so much time to do that. Not so much that you should kick the can down the road. Don't wait until October to get started. Okay, at the time of this recording, it's September. Now, if you're listening to this 6 months from now and it's April, I don't care. This always applies, right? Like, we have enough time to accomplish our goals, but we shouldn't kick the can down the road, because now's the best time to start. Okay. But speaking in terms of at the time of this recording, it's the very beginning of September. I don't want you to wait until October. I don't want you to wait until November. This happens a lot about weight loss specifically. People will reach out like mid-November and be like, oh my God, I want to lose like 30 pounds before I got to take my holiday photos. And I'm like, the holiday photos that you have on your calendar that you're taking in 2 weeks? Girl, why didn't you reach out to me 3 months ago when we could have done this safely, sustainably, and possibly? Like, you guys got to plan ahead for the thing that you want. Yeah, but there's a lot of time to make some change if we start now in September. So what is the thing that you want? Is it to have more confidence and feel better in your body so that when it is time for the holidays and photos and parties and dresses and all the things, you feel comfortable, you feel confident, you're not hiding in the back of the photo trying to put the little children in front of you, or one of your shorter nieces, or like just trying to like shuffle your way to the back, or not even wanting to go to things because you're uncomfortable. Or maybe it's not a health goal. Maybe there's some relationships that you've been wanting to really focus on. All right, start doing that now. Then when the holidays get here, you're in a good groove with that friend you've fallen out of step with, or that family member who you want to be closer with. And you guys can like already have done the mending and the repairing before the holiday season even gets here, and make those holidays that much more memorable and special. I don't know what the thing is for you, but ponder it. What would you roll into 2024? Okay. Pretend like it's the end of 2023. The holidays are beyond us now. We've completed them. We're in that lull after like the rush of the holidays, right? You wake up like the day after Christmas and it's kind of like, okay, we survived the holidays. And then we get a few days to relax. And then it's right into the new year. And we're thinking again about all the things that we want to accomplish. In that little pocket of time, what would make you feel really, really good if you had accomplished it? Where in that little pocket of relaxing, and before we start the grind of a new year, you could reflect and you could look back and you could go, you know what? I did really good in 2023. I set those boundaries that I needed to set for years, and it gave me the space I needed to take care of myself, or to start making that career change that I want to make. I don't know. What is your thing? By the way, you guys know I want to know these things. I'm so nosy. Like, this is such a one-way street. I just talk and talk and talk, and I don't get to hear anything about you. So message me on social media and tell me, what is the thing that you're striving for the end of the year? Listen, 4 months is nothing to scoff at. You can get so much done. You can build so much momentum right now, and then be starting next year already with that momentum. And you can start the year already crushing it instead of trying to build momentum and reflecting on the fact that you didn't do the thing again. What if you're already in progress? It's already happening. The thing is already being worked out. And so then you're just putting on the polishing touches come January, or you're moved on to a whole different thing that you want to accomplish. Like, we can't only focus on what we want out of life in January. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. There has to be a focus. There's 365 days in the year. Us reflecting on what we want out of life can't happen from January 1st to January 7th only, and not any of the rest of the 365. Like, that's just not going to work out. So collectively, let's all sit and ponder, what do I really want? How am I going to get there? What can I get done in 4 months? Give yourself some goals that are doable, but that are a stretch. Stretch yourself. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to be strict and psycho. Like with weight loss, when I tell my clients to stretch the edges, like, let's really push yourself, let's really see what your body can do, it doesn't mean let's starve and let's kill ourselves in the gym and fry our adrenals and do a bunch of crazy fasting and do some weird cleanses. That's not what I mean. But like, sometimes the stretch is just being super committed to yourself, right? Prioritizing yourself. Whew, that's a stretch for most women. Most of us are not great at prioritizing ourselves, right? So maybe that's the stretch of it, is actually showing up for yourself, giving yourself some space on your calendar. I don't know what the thing is, but I'm really excited to hear about it. And I want to see you showing up for yourself in this last quarter of the year. I want to watch you crush your goals. I want to celebrate this with you. So reach out. Let me know what you're working on. Of course, if you need help with anything, if you're in the Simplified Fat Loss group and you have a health goal that you're going to be working on, post it in there. Just make a post. You guys are always welcome to do that and be like, hey, this is what I want to accomplish by the end of the year. And I'm posting this here for some accountability and for some support from other women who I know get it, right? Go ahead, use the group, do whatever you got to do. But let's end 2023 on a really, really, really high note. So we are just coasting right into 2024, already in a better position than where we started last year. All right, my friends, that's all I got for you. I will catch you next week.